Alright, so I have seen Nosferatu, and this is the new horror film, and this is from Robert Eggers, and telling the story of the tale of Dracula named Nosferatu, and adapting its story about how this young woman is haunted by this terrifying monster, and how it's fully in its wake. And even though I thought this was an incredibly crafted horror movie from start to finish, and this will be my full non-spoiler review. I'm going to be talking about what I really enjoyed from this movie, why I think it's a must-watch for the big screen, and even from the sound design, the practical effects, and much more to talk about right here. And so, if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you miss on any future videos, including like this, such as reviews and stuff. But now, let's talk about this movie. And now, when it comes to Nosferatu, and this is the telling the adaptation of the story, because even with this film, that is essentially the remake of the original film that came out back in 1922. That was like a century ago, and that was like a silent German film, and that was quite a long time ago, especially back then, as the footage was all like grainy and no dialogue or no like sense of audio whatsoever. But even though that marked as the true tale and a great horror movie, introducing the character, the terrifying Dracula creature known as Nosferatu. And trust me, with that creature, that looked so terrifying. But now, even like being like adapted into this remake in this modern day age, especially in this era, and now even that this is coming from Robert Eggers, and if you know his work, and he's known for folklore and like horror, and that's what his filmography is. Even with his recent film, The Northman, which I really enjoyed as like revenge thriller flick, but you know, going now with this movie, I thought he really nailed every sense of this movie and adapting its story and adapting it within the horror world, because even this is what the plot of the movie is. This is with a young woman and that's like a haunted and has this curse and is dreaming of this terrifying vampire creature named Nosferatu, and it's even now in its wake, and especially as this young woman has now awakened the monster. And going into it, it had like so much monumental wave hype, but even though I was a bit hesitant going in, but I gotta say, I really enjoyed this movie. Plus, like, not only did it keep me on the edge of my seat, but it was totally engaging from start to finish. There was never a dull moment, because even though with a runtime it like flies by quick, it really gets to the story, because Robert Eggers knows how to craft a movie, because he was the right person to direct this movie, and trust me, he knocked it out of the park. And especially with the layout and with the way that it is told from the mind of Eggers, and through like the lens, and especially as it is like really gothic, and even within the world of horror, and that he was able to adapt in this story, it was really fascinating for how they were able to pull this off. And also, I thought there were really great performances, and just a really great sound design. Like, this is why it's a must-watch for the big screen. It's a great movie to experience with a crowd, because I remember when I went to my screening, it was like a packed house, a packed theater, because that's why I really enjoyed out of this movie. Is I love being scared, and trust me, there are like so many like jump scares in this film, because I think like you put after watching it, especially from that final shot to the credits roll, like this movie will leave me haunted for like a long time. It's a movie that I'll mostly remember as well. I enjoyed every bit of sense that was adapted into this crafted movie. I thought it was truly amazing, and even just with Nosferatu himself, with the creature design, it looks so good, and especially with the practical effects and with the way that things were done on film, it was really something that like it's never been done before. And And I want to applaud everyone's performances, especially from Lily Rose Depp. I mean, she adapted every ounce of her body into the role, and playing the role of Ellen, and for what she is terrified of with this creature. I mean, she gives her A game. I mean, bravo to her. I mean, I hope that like someday she gets nominated for her performance in this film if it gets entered into award season. But I want to applaud her performance, because I mean, I really enjoy everything out of it, because especially what else goes on in the story with her husband Thomas, played by Nicholas Hoult, who is a real estate agent that has to sell this person a home, and even though that's where his line of work is, but even though that everyone's warned that the monster is coming, and that's what the movie really shows you, is that Nosferatu and his presence, because he's like a monster that like traps you and never lets you go. That's like essentially the main theme of this movie. And even that they got the additional cast, such as with Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, Willem Dafoe, and Ralph Ineson, and I just enjoyed everything from it. And plus, it was like heart pounding as well. Another thing that I want to see, that this is what I call a horror movie. And this was a well adapted story from start to finish, and even like once it like starts, it like never stops me, because it really takes you on this journey of what this monster creature is capable of, especially with Nosferatu. And I want to point out Bill Skarsgård, when you see him on screen. Like, I mean, the dude is unrecognizable, and I can pretty much tell the makeup artists and the practical effects team did a really great job of really capturing the monster that is in the world of Dracula and vampire adaptations. And it is like so well written. Like, there was never ever a dull moment. And like I kept my eyes glued to the screen of how like how are they going to destroy the curse, or like how are they gonna like stop this monster, and like even especially within his presence, and like how he is like so terrifying, and that's what I really enjoyed from this movie. And I can already tell with these people that put on outstanding performances. What I think people should expect going into this movie is like lots of scares. There are tons of kills, and also just like a really great horror movie that'll leave you like a now wanting to go to sleep. It's definitely a good one from Robert Eggers, and especially as I loved what he's done, especially with his directorial vision for what he's able to adapt within a story. With the script, it is like so well written, because even for how they were able to pull this off in like an over 2-hour movie, it like flies by. And not only that, but it really, like, just with the third act alone, and oh my gosh, and I believe it is like graphic, and by the time we get to that final shots when the credits roll, I'm like, wow, that was really something of a third act being adapted into an adaptation Dracula horror movie. And I am really glad that this came out, and even for what people are saying about this movie, because it had an early hype monumental wave. You know, what people are saying about this movie is absolutely true, and it is going in like a higher rating in my book. And I definitely recommend checking out this movie. And I had fun watching it, especially with the crowd, and you'll definitely get scared, especially with your friends. Take them to the theater to go see this movie. Oh man, like there's like so much stuff that I want to gush about, and I'm looking forward to watching this movie again, just with the main story points, and just with everything that this movie teaches you about with Nosferatu, and what his background is, and with his story, and with his curse, and what his presence and his capabilities are. It really sets that in stone. And I want to agree on everyone else's performances. I mean, they did a fantastic job, and yeah. So my final thoughts are, I really enjoyed this film. I mean, Nosferatu is a perfect 9 out of 10 in my book, a must watch for the big screen. I think it is like the best horror movie of this year, especially like, as I said, it is the best horror movie. There's like no question about it, and I really love what Robert Eggers has done, and I hope that this gets nominated for award season. And just go see this movie on the big screen. Also, I really enjoyed everything from the plot to the story and to the sound design, and even with the score, it really sets you in for what's to come later on in the movie as well. So yeah. That's all I got for you. But that's gonna do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments below, and if you see Nosferatu, give me a rating to 1 out of 10, and what did you think of the movie? Just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn the notification bell for future videos. You can also follow all my social medias, all linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.